We'll have to switch because I'll do like the little intro.
Swap. Okay.
All right. I'm just getting.
Share all the slides.
All right, Hannah's here. Chris will not be joining us today. So I'm just double checking YouTube and Facebook, so please hold. And then we should be good.
Yeah, YouTube's good.
Yeah, it looks like both of them are updating and audio is running. Thank you everyone for joining us on today's live stream. The Adventure Together team is here for you, minus Robin and Chris today. So today you will have Bob, you will have Salpy, and you will have Hero. And we are excited to share our latest updates with you. So over the past few days, we have been polling the community, we have been listening to your feedback, and we have been just really scrutinizing ourselves. So far, our Kickstarter has been beyond our dreams successful. We want to keep the momentum up though, and that is what we are here to do today. So we want to first thank everyone for joining. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, or if you're on Discord watching us, please drop any comments in the chat if you have questions or concerns. We'll be happy to answer them live while we're on stream. And we just want to say it for the millionth, and we'll continue saying it. Thank you all for your support so far. We even had one of our marketing partners come out to us and say, we can't believe the amount of interaction of your community. And specifically our super backers and our regular backers, they said they're just so excited for what open source means. They're so excited for the vision behind this product, and they're so excited for TimeStrike. And we couldn't be more appreciative of that. It's not only clear to us, but it's clear to those that we are partnered with. It's clear to those that we are working with. So I just want to say thank you, and then we can get started. So today we have a lot to share with you. We're not going to limit this call by any means. Some of us may have to drop off early, but we will take you through every step of the way. So Anthony here is going to share a PowerPoint, and we are going to dive in with both feet. So Kickstarter stretch goals is what we are going to discuss today. Open source rulebooks is what we are going to discuss today. We have been talking about open source for quite some time, but we have really yet to show you how we plan on facilitating that and empowering the community to begin using open source as a platform. So Anthony, if you could hop to the next slide. So open source rule sets is the first thing we're going to talk about today. And we've been pursuing this vision that Adventure Together has, as well as the adventurers in this community and the pioneers, of open source for tabletop. And it's something that really has not been done yet today. We have open source video games, we have open source software applications, but how do you begin unlocking tabletop to open source? And Bob, or Andrew, has become really encapsulated by that and really fascinated by that. So how do we allow players and makers to create, mod, and share rule sets? And we're going to turn this over to Andrew now, so we're going to swap who's sharing screens. Hopefully.
Go ahead, Bob Loki.
Just give it a second.
Can I share the middle screen? Right, yeah, that'll work. There we go.
Okay.
Hopefully you can see.
So now you should be able to see Andrew's screen that he's sharing. We have it up on YouTube and Facebook. And he's going to take you through a little bit about how we are setting up to make TimeStrike and Source Golf open source for the community. And if you could just zoom in a little bit, Bob, so that we can see a little bit better, that would be excellent. Thank you so much.
Hopefully that work. Does that work?
It does work, just the navigation on the left is a little small, so let's be very vocal about what you're clicking on. You might not be able to correct that.
I'm not sure if I can zoom in over there because this is a PDF.
That's
so, yeah, so my background is I'm primarily a software engineer. So one of the things I set out kind of looking at this is there a way to get the rules to TimeStrike and to Source Golf into, say, GitHub? And so one of the things I spent a little bit of time, investigating is there an easy way we can turn those rules into documents that themselves can be checked in? And then if you want to do a pull request or you want to just fork the entire rules yourself, you can use basically just the power of GitHub with no extra assistance from any of us. So what I built was essentially a system that uses LaTeX documents. So these LaTeX documents, really straightforward. They get checked into source control. And if you want to change the wording of the rules, or you want to go to a specific spot and say, I don't like how the wording of this is, or I don't care how this rule is written, or I want to change, how this character interacts with another thing. LaTeX is a formatting language. So LaTeX, kind of just like if you're familiar with HTML, it's kind of like that. So inside this, so it's really straightforward. It says, begin a table object and then put the things that you're going to put in the table object, and then it'll render the table for you. So if I scroll down to the table, here's that table. So we can see here we've got that begin table, and then here is the table that actually gets rendered in the page. So that you can come in here and you can just have to say, cool, I don't need to worry about formatting. I don't need to worry about any of these, many different steps. And you can just say, I'm going to help change the wording to this. And so you can go into then GitHub and you can say, hey, I don't like how this is written. And so you can come in here and do a pull request. Actually, against this, we don't have any in here yet, but you can do a pull request against the TimeStrike rules. And so the community itself can say, hey, Selpy, I really don't like how this one rule works. And you all can have a discussion here about it. And everyone can debate and debate and debate, and the community can win. And
Bob, real
so
quick,
that's
can
the
you
coolest part
elaborate?
about this.
Sorry, Bob, can you elaborate on what a LaTeX document is for those who are not familiar?
Yeah, I had just shown a
Yeah,
little
he
bit of it
did.
on screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I showed. It's
Yeah.
it's like HTML and
Yep.
CSS, kind of like the combination. A lot of scientific papers are written in LaTeX documents. So you've probably seen if you went to college and did a college math class, you definitely have already interacted with a LaTeX document with 100% certainty. Um, but
Thank you.
right now, as it stands, to kind of answer, LL Kool-Aid's, post there is for, the time being, the actual primary rule set will be defined by us. So if you're going to go to a tournament and you're going to play tournament TimeStrike rules, those have been all vetted by us. And so the pull requests that go to like the main branch, the tournament rule set branch, um, that itself will be, you got to convince Selpy if you want to change those rules. But if you want to write your own and have a totally different, rule set, you just can. So we're building a lot of this out right now so that, and another really cool, option that's in here is we have GitHub Actions, which a lot of people don't know that much about because those are newer, is when you actually complete your pull request. So let's say you wanted to change the wording of, this section right here on screen. When you want to change that wording, immediately upon your successful pull request, LP agrees with you, a new PDF will actually be generated just instantaneously. And so you have finished rules with all the other ones, including your changes, immediately available to you to, if you wanted to just print them or have them on a PDF. So like, this is actually the PDF. This is actually the built object that comes out of the open source rules. And you'll be able to run this same GitHub action command on your own repository. So one of the things that I've been writing is the code for you to just do that. Obviously, it works for our tournament rule set. And so it'll work for your rule sets. And so in this instance, we've got just the source golf rule set. And so when you play source golf, right now, all you need to do is get our tiles, and here's the rules.
That's exactly
It's just
right.
the same way as, the beautiful moment that Himaro called me, I think what it was like December of last year, and you were so outrageously happy to explain to me that you guys had made Source Golf. And You made it just out of piles of, pieces you had laying around. And that's the creativity that we're going to try to, foster with this system. Is not only are we, letting you use these tiles to build your games, we're also going to help you build these rule sets in an open fashion so that you can share them with everyone. And if you want one rule change that you don't like how solo play is done in, TimeStrike, okay, cool, make your own rules.
Yeah.
Go
And
for it.
I just want to elaborate, or maybe not elaborate, but maybe layman's terms this a little bit. So this is the first step towards open source rule sets for the Adventure Together team. We're testing here with Source Golf. TimeStrike will be, and I don't know if Bob has it ready to show off today, but TimeStrike will also be in here in a similar format, and we will be distributing this to the community. And the goal behind this is simply the concept of, okay, I have a rule set, I upload it to the system, and we're going to provide step-by-step instructions for those of you who are maybe not as technical, because I'm one of those individuals, and how you can upload it, how you can modify it, how you can share it, and how you can fork it. And a key component of this is that the original rule set that is owned by the creator, in this case Source Golf is owned by Adventure Together, Anthony or Salpy will be in charge of whether or not modifications or suggestions make it in. But that does not prevent the community from forking and sharing their own rule sets. And now we become truly open source, not only in the way that our tabletop system source is allowed to be built on and shared with, but now we are beginning to empower the community to build, modify, and share their own games and experiences. So again, for those of us who are not as technical, we will have in-depth instructions on, hey, this is how you can bring your first rule set to life. And oh, this is how you can modify and fork and share rule sets that you want. Or this is how you can make a suggestion to the initial creator, oh, this would be a better idea for the rule set and solves these problems. So now you have a system that allows communication, feedback, and sharing in a live manner. And that's really the goal here, right? We've said, okay, you're going to get an open source license with your copy of source. You're going to get the digital files with your copy of source. But how do you use those? And that's what Bob is really, or Andrew has been really working hard on here with Amanda and Salpy, is they are really working hard to build that path out. And this is our kind of first rough draft of it, and that's why we wanted to share this with you today. So hopefully that simplifies it, but that is the goal. We need to think of this at a high level. We need to think of this as not Adventure Together making all the games, but as everyone in the community driving the games and building a library that is playable on Source. Because how powerful would it be to say, oh, LL Kool-Aid, he released a new game today. I'm going to go and I'm going to download, I'm going to print and play his rule set, and then I'm just going to use the pieces I have at home to play it. I can just follow the rule set. I have my own miniatures maybe, or I have my own little markers that I can utilize. That is the power of this. And now LL Kool-Aid, he can get feedback in live time. He doesn't have to go to a convention to get feedback on his game. He doesn't have to travel to somebody's house to do a playtest, as much as we want to do that and engage on a tabletop scale with each other. It's not always a viable option. And this unlocks a potential for tabletop games that we really haven't seen as much as we would have liked to. Systems like Tabletop Simulator allow for it, but that requires a lot of setup, a lot of configurations, and a technical knowledge. We want to really make this, and this is again core to the values that we have at Adventure Together, we want to make this as accessible as possible so that anybody can do it, whether you're 22 years old or whether you're 70 years old. You follow the instructions, you have an idea, you're able to share it, you're able to get feedback, and everybody can collaborate with one another. And
And I want to just wrap up with on this point.
yeah,
So this is something that we want to, this is our starting point, like having it on GitHub. We're going to see how this is going to be built in and collaborate and work with the source app, because this is our vision, but we got to take it step by step as far as building it out and figuring out what the best way to present it to the community is. And I have to say, like, one of the things, at least for me, if I could speak to like something that I experienced that this would have been nice to have, was I backed this Kickstarter like 2 or 3 years ago, and I got it finally. And when we got it, there was a big uproar about how the rules were completely broken. And if there was some sort of place where, and you look at different forums, and everyone would be coming up with their own things, and you look on Board Game Geek and wherever else, just to find a community of people to talk about it. It's like, what do we do? How do we fix this? I paid all this money. All it seems like it should be a good game, but they sent it and it's like completely broken.
Mm-hmm.
This would be like the place you could go to be like, oh, here's the rules. Let's fix them as a community. Let's make this game better. Let's do our thing. And it's it's gonna be a really powerful tool.
Yeah, it's almost a tool that we felt necessary based on lessons learned while we were building our first game. Anthony was always hungry for feedback, and we're like, okay, we have friends and family, and then we're like, okay, where do we go now? And then you have to wait for the next convention, you have to wait for the next convention, and then that's the only way to get outside feedback other than going to little board game cafes. And up until recently, not many people have known about us as a company, but now we bridge that gap and we say, hey, you over in Australia, I'm in New Jersey, I can't make it out to you, but can you please play test this at your house? And I'll recommend some pieces that you can use that you probably already have from other games. And I'd love your feedback. Download it, print and play it at home, and give me feedback and maybe add some suggestions. So, really great. We had a
Yeah.
question in
To kind of
YouTube.
go
Go
with
ahead.
with
Yeah,
yeah, I was gonna do the YouTube question was the there'll be a blank rule set so you can make your own rules. Yes, because that'll also be there to do the GitHub action, so that when you actually want to build the PDF of your rules, I'm gonna figure all that out, so that you'll just be able to press a button and you should be good to go. That's my goal. Now I don't know. GitHub Actions might be like, you got to give us more money if you want to do 10,000 of these. So there could be different ways around it too. So that's definitely all in the investigation phase to kind of answer Brandon's question.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good question because
Tamara,
it,
can you go back to the group view, because it's just been on the rule book for
yeah, of
this whole time while
course.
we've been
Oh,
talking.
So,
you can share the PowerPoint again.
no, I got
There
it.
you go.
So just to iterate on that further, because I think it's a really good question, and something that we've mentioned as a community is we're not here to take. We're not here to say, hey, give us your rules. We're not here to say, hey, we just provide Adventure Together with more content. We want to help you create your own content and explore your own imagination and bringing experiences to life on Source. So it's not just, hey, we put this system up, go ahead, have fun with it. It's here's the system, that's what we're building now, and then we're going to have a layer of tools that you will be able to pull from, blank rule sets. We'll be able to partner with you as far as trying to get your actual game manufactured if there's pieces that you need to get manufactured. We'll be providing guides on maybe how to best build your rule sets, on what we've experienced in the past. So this is not going to be just a, hey, open source, fork it and share it. This is going to be a hub that has resources that allow you to bring your dreams and to life and your experiences to life and your games, most importantly, to life. So I just want to mention that. I think it's really important for us to say, hey, this is about more than just building a tabletop system that can play multiple games. This is about enabling the community to finally have an outlet that is accessible and allows everyone to build more intuitively and with more information than what they can get today. Because we've done it the last 5.5 years now. And we've gone through the pain points. We've struggled. We've learned. And now we're ready to share.
It's definitely a draft design layout. I would love input too, as we actually make iterations of this, because also technically the design of all of the pages are going to be open source. Everyone can debate what that template looks like. So kind of to go off Brandon's, earlier thing is like, what does this blank template look like? Well, if we want to have all the rules have that basic same look, or do we want to have each separate ones? There'll be different options we can have. And so all, what the pages look like, what the headers look like, what the bottom footer looks like, what the cover page looks like, what the table of contents look like, all that stuff we can debate for, a zillion years. And if you don't like it, you can just fork it and print your own. Like that's also the coolest part is you can literally just take all of our rules, and if you want a different look to the rule book, you can literally just do that.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's definitely definitely a draft. We have a lot of work to because as we're just figuring out this tool, we're also figuring out its capabilities as far as design as well.
Yeah.
Yep, and we'll be asking for feedback, but everything you see as far as rule sets, we still have a lot of polishing to do. Oh my goodness, we still have a lot of polishing to do. So what you are seeing today are drafts, and you'll see more polished versions released in the near future, as well as access to start actually using this open source system, so we can gain that feedback, make optimizations, and release the most polished product possible. So we thank you for that. Now, the moment everybody is kind of waiting for, I think. Open source is great.
Well,
Go ahead.
Well, we just go through the slides.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so let's talk about what we've done in Kickstarter so far and where we're at. And let me just refresh Kickstarter because there actually might be a new stretch goal unlocked.
It's really close.
Did we hit it?
Mm-hmm.
I should have just
really
marked
close.
it as unlocked. We're very close to the 125,000. So far we have released the Kickstarter exclusive biome sticker packs. This includes every single environment theme and all of the biomes within them. We've been receiving a lot of questions around them, and the team came to a decision last night that we want these to be reusable stickers. So we're going to go with a vinyl sticker approach and something that you can peel off, and if you preserve it well, put it back on later and re-stick it. So we wanted to make that very clear to the community. That is what we are pursuing at this time as far as the design of the stickers. And again, the goal of these is to really allow you to customize your hexes in the way that you want and give you access to environment themes that maybe you didn't get a chance to include as part of your pledge. Maybe you have Source Deluxe and you only got to choose one, but now you can customize those blank hexes to meet your needs and kind of play with them and have fun with them. We have also unlocked the comprehensive lore book added to every copy of TimeStrike at no cost. Hero is super excited about this. She has been leading the effort of our in-depth lore specifically for TimeStrike and the universe of TimeStrike, and I just want to say it out loud. It will not disappoint. Hero, if you want to elaborate on this a little more, what's going to be included, you are more than welcome to. If not, no worries. I think she's... Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so the comprehensive lore book will include the hero's journeys for all the characters that will come with the Shadow of Fear TimeStrike edition. And it will also include world stories, so the worlds where those heroes are from. And it will include stories about the void, which we were calling the Timescape. So this place where TimeStrike takes place and all these characters meet. So you'll have some stories about kind of the origins of that place, the worlds where these characters come from, and then the characters themselves. And right now it's kind of like an origin mythology, and then we're talking with the community too about how we can bring in some more kind of episodic storytelling that kind of is more present tense. So characters with stories kind of happening in real time and more episodic from game to game. So it'll also have incredible art, really beautifully designed, all the characters' art and worlds. And yeah, I'm super excited to share it with you guys. And I'll hand it back to you, Nick.
Yeah, we're super excited. We've mentioned this before, but each race has been designed and built by one of the four founders, or the originating founders, the four that kind of founded, and then we were able to bring on, fortunately, extremely talented and passionate individuals on the way. But we have basically four of us who said we want to build our own worlds. So you'll be getting a peek at each of us when you go through that lore, and we're excited to see you guys get a hold of it. The next one is the co-op and solo mode for TimeStrike. This one has been heavily requested. It's unlocked now. Salpy's super excited about this because now you're going to be able to sit down and play with a group of friends in a non-PvP fashion, where you sit down and you go on an adventure together and you build a party around what you need to do, and you have a goal that is all shared with one another and have to accomplish that. Salpy, I don't know if you want to talk more about this, or if you want to move on. I'll leave that to you.
We can briefly talk about it. Thankfully, throughout all the playtesting we've done throughout the years, we've kind of had this already built and ready on the back burner. We definitely jump between TimeStrike being just a all-out battle between the players, or just a desperate survival against the boss. And we're happy that, or I'm happy, we're all happy that we can kind of get this in. It's going to be a couple extra cards in the deck and some more rules to make it so that you can take all your same characters, dice, components, and still use all the fun mechanics that we've built in, but just use it to team up and work together against the giant boss.
And we've gotten some questions from the community around, will this take away from the experience of TimeStrike at all? And the answer is no. Salpy is working really, really hard to make sure all of the core mechanics stay intact so that you can continue using them. So really the only difference in your experience is now you're working together towards a singular goal and not against one another, kind of in this uncooperative way. Now you're cooperative, or you're sitting down and you're building your own army, and you're tackling everything that you can on your own. Both of those are really good options. And Shaper brought it up the other day. I know he's not here, but he's like, solo mode would be great practice for like tournament play. And I thought that was a really cool idea there. That it's like, hey, I sit down, I can practice. I could see how I can optimize my army and almost build a meta for tournament play. So I think that's a really unique idea. We can go to the next slide. So coming soon, we are $500 or so away from the Terraform loot card expansion. For those of you who are not super familiar with it, this enhances the gameplay of TimeStrike to allow for more construction and destruction during play. So something we've talked about quite a lot is source not being interlocking. You can very easily construct and destruct during gameplay. So this is going to kind of further allow you to say, hey, I'm going to change the environment, I'm going to change the map from start to finish in the game, and I'm going to have more control over where I build or what I destroy. So that one's really exciting. We should hit that, I'm hoping, by the end of the day today. And then we have our highly, highly requested 8-bit environment theme for 150,000. Our goal is to hit that over the weekend, if not mid next week. So, look forward to that. And we are super excited. We're super excited to see 8-bit on a tabletop, if we're being completely honest. I think it's going to look so good. And I think personally, I want to use it for Source Golf. So, super excited about that. Hope everyone else is as well. Now, let's get into the future. What are you doing to me?
Did you
I didn't get
Shaper?
confirmation on it. Hannah, did Chris reach out to you at all on that, what I pinged you about? Hannah?
We'll just skip a
Bum,
slide
bum,
then.
She
bum.
might.
Also come back to that one.
Okay, so we're gonna skip a slide for now. All right. So there's one pledge that we're not showing off just yet. We're last minute confirming here, but $200,000. So when we get the 200,000, we are going to include a Muddy Battlefield sticker pack in every copy of Source. Why are we doing this? So sticker packs are a great way for us to get environment themes in the hands of our backers without having to create and deal with a whole nother avenue of logistics. So this sticker pack, the goal here is, hey, we might not have unlocked Muddy Battlefield yet as its own environment theme, but that doesn't mean the work is not done, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have access to it. So yes, every Kickstarter copy of Source, thank you Captain Stupendous, every Kickstarter copy of Source will have a Muddy Battlefield sticker pack with all of the biomes included when we hit that $200,000 mark. Again, these sticker packs are not permanent stickers, meaning you put them on and then when you take them off, they're useless. These are going to be reusable. So if you have a night where you need the Muddy Battlefield as part of your deck or as part of your hexes, you can easily add them to your set and remove whatever you have on there currently. So we're hoping that, and we're not even doubting it a little bit, we will unlock this. And I'm going to just say what I say all the time. Any stretch goals that we don't unlock, they're still going to get done. They're still going to be available to you at some point. Maybe not the sticker packs, but Muddy Battlefield as an environment theme is going to get done. It just might take a little longer if we don't reach it as part of the Kickstarter. Next, and I'm going to let Anthony handle this one, or Salpy.
So, with all the main characters that you're going to be drafting, this comes with a double thick layer cardboard character board. This has your stats, information, artwork, skills, all sorts of stuff listed on it. The way TimeStrike was built was that all the characters had it, and then there was a deck of cards that controlled the boss. In this case, Fear. So, what I wanted to do was, on top of the solo co-op mode that's going to have another deck, I wanted to give the big boss and all of his tentacles even more to do in the game. So the way we're going to do this is he's going to get his own character board, Fear, the same way like all the characters do. So he'll have skills, buffs, curses, awakenings, stats, health bar, stuff like that. And we're going to scale it for him to be around the power of 3 characters combined. So for people that want to just battle and don't necessarily want to play the boss battle royale or the solo co-op mode, they could just pull this card out and have a battle with your friends. If you want to do a 1v1 or you want to have like 3 people versus you or whatever it is, he's going to get his own character board with all his own skills and sets and everything, which it'll be very a lot crazier than some of the other characters because he'll have his own boss miniature, how it works for you to climb on someone you're actively fighting with, and then he's able to spawn all the tentacles around the board as well. So he's got like basically minis that come with him. So that's going to be included at no extra cost into the TimeStrike pack.
Yep.
Once we hit that.
And we're going to step backwards here because we have a nice $175,000 stretch goal that we just got confirmation on. So let's take a step back. All right, everyone. So this one is really, really cool. I'm personally super excited for it. And Salpy, you can actually play that video in the PowerPoint. So all of our neoprene mats at $175,000 will be updated from what we call a standard neoprene mat. And this is something we have heard from the community many, many times. Aren't you afraid that your hexes are going to slip? And we were recently engaged with an Etsy seller who has over 5,000 reviews, 5-star reviews on Etsy, who wants to partner with us to bring what we call grip mats. And these mats prevent any sort of sliding on are hexes, as you can see here in the demonstration. And this is a demo that they did for us that we just pulled out, but we're going to have one done for you with the actual TimeStrike source hexes and tiles. But this is going to be every single neoprene mat purchase will now be a grip mat. And this is a new technology that is actually patented by this individual that we're partnering with, from what I understand. And every single neoprene mat, especially for wargamers, will now have this grippy surface that prevents any sort of sliding while you are building your height and your width and your hexes on top of the neoprene mat. They will be built in a hexagonal pattern with the the source environment themes as options. So at 175,000, all of the neoprene mats will be converted to grip mats. And we are just super excited about this. We really have heard a lot from the wargaming community on what their concerns are, and we think that this is an excellent solution to make them much, much, much more comfortable and not have a worry about, hey, I'm putting all these hexes down, I'm building height, I'm expanding my map, oh, I bumped it, they slid, now I have to put them back. This will prevent that to a much, much greater extent than the existing grip mats or normal standard neoprene mats today. And that will not increase the cost. This will just be an upgrade to that add-on for anyone that purchases it. So we're very, very excited about that. It should actually, yeah, you're absolutely right. It can absolutely prevent knocking over tall structures when you nudge the edge of the board too, because they're not going to slide, or you don't have to worry about them sliding. So we're super excited about this. It's another technology that is up and coming, and you know, here at Source and at Adventure Together, we're always looking to bring more assets into our community, and we see this as a really beautiful partnership moving forward, and something that we can leverage and hopefully innovate on and make very, very almost core to the Source experience, especially for wargamers. Okay,
Alright.
let's jump to the big one. Everyone ready? A little drum roll.
For people that didn't see my post in Adventure Together General accidentally earlier.
Yeah. Okay, you asked for it. You voted for it. Square edges, $250,000 stretch goal. Every copy of Source will now have square edges included once we hit this stretch goal. This will allow you to build square maps. This will allow you to build rectangular maps. And the whole idea here is, we've heard from the community, well, what if I just need a square? What if I just need a rectangle? The current edges that you would get, which you can see on the right and left of this board, those are your standard edges. The ones that you'll see at the top of the board and the bottom of the board, if you're looking at this image, those are cut a little bit differently. So we're going to be tooling them once we hit that $250,000 mark. And this will enable you to build squares, rectangles, as well as the existing shapes that you wanted to build. So just to be very clear, if you ordered a box of Source, you get 8 edges. Today, you would get 8 of the basic edges. Once this stretch goal is achieved, you would get 4 of the existing edges and 4 of the square edges to give you that dynamic customizability. Go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
Nope, that's exactly what I would clarify. So this is something we're giving. As soon as we unlock the tooling, you're just gonna get it for free in your pack. If you do order an add-on of additional edges, that will be updated in the Pledge Manager to allow you to choose which kinds that you want. But the idea of having these fundamentally in every pack now just opens up to a lot more map layouts and designs, which we're super excited about.
Yeah, and these edges have the same storage functionality as our existing edges, but they, like I said, the whole idea behind them is now for our BattleTech players, for our Warhammer players, for anyone that really just likes the feel of a square or a rectangular board, this option will be made available to you. And I'm going to say it again, if we don't hit this stretch goal, it's still going to get done. But I fully anticipate that we will, and I'm super excited that we will because this is something we've been wanting to share for a while. We just had to make sure that we were doing it at the right level. Um, you will still be able to build a hex-shaped map. However, you might not
You need
use,
more
you would need
edges.
more
You need
edges.
more of the old edges. Yeah.
Yes. You could still just use the 4 base edges, Dylan, that you would get to make a map, or 5. But if you wanted to build a large scale non-square map, you would just need a few more edges to make that happen. So the answer is yes, just maybe not
Wait,
the
what was the
full 8
question?
edge build. So will we be able to still build the hex-shaped map with these? They also can be made
No.
into squares.
Not.
Well, it depends which
No. It
box you
would.
buy.
No. All the boxes would be replaced with these.
Well, no, like which tier? I mean, of the Kickstarter.
Oh,
If you were
right.
the
Yeah.
Source
If you
Deluxe, you could
got
still make
multiple
any.
boxes, yeah, you'll
Yeah.
get more of each type of edges. And if you get one box, it's gonna switch to a square. But if you got multiple boxes, then your options open up to what you could build.
So the question from Captain Stupendous, so now you can't make a hex-shaped map with the $99 tier.
Correct.
What if you just used 4 of the edges, though? Why can't you do that and make a hex? You can do a 3-edge map. Why can't you just cut back or only use 1 of the square edges? Wouldn't that work?
Oh, this is the joy of geometry math, isn't it? Hmm.
I could play around with some different how you can kind of interweave these in and out and make different shapes. I'm not entirely sure.
Yes,
I'll have to follow up.
you would definitely need at least 6 of the hexagonal edges to make a hex-shaped map. So if you're only getting 4, then yes, you're going to be only able to make a rectangular shaped board with the $99 at a source. But we definitely want to hear what the community thinks about that. We want your feedback. Tell us how you feel about it.
Yeah, if you think that the hexagon is the the bigger priority for the lower tier, then we'll go with that. It's all it's all up to math too. Is if the community wants that, the community wants that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a really good question.
The trade-off is really, if you only want to make hexes or you only want to make rectangles, but it seems like we can only kind of deliver one of those. So we're going to have to hear what the community thinks is most interesting and exciting to them.
Yeah, we can always pivot.
Look at changing boxes too.
Yeah, we can always pivot if we need to. So I agree with Shaper. We'll do a poll like we always do after we unveil stretch goals and just hear more about what the community thinks. This enables your squares and rectangles. So with your Source Deluxe or your Source Starter set, this would enable you only to build rectangles and squares. We'll have Salpy play around and see if that's 100% an accurate statement. I'm not sure that we're confident in that yet, but we have heard from the community that everybody would like, or so at least a large portion, were looking for these rectangles and squares. They have square tables, they have rectangle tables, so we can discuss it further. I'll put a poll out there, and we will love to hear from each of you. And we're always listening. We're always willing to pivot. Just because we announce this doesn't mean that we can't do it a different way. We can't offer it as an add-on or take a different approach to get it into the hands of the people that want it. Yeah, I think they could also be selectable. We'll talk about it, but let's poll the community first. Let's hear what everybody thinks, and we'll pivot if needed.
Yes,
all right.
Please let us know all of your opinions on everything. We will read them.
Yeah, we're always here to pivot. We're always here to learn, and we'll do what we need to do. So, Salpy, we can go next slide now. All right, so community has been asking for these, and we are going to make it happen. So right now, as part of our Kickstarter tiers, you have only been able to choose from Source Deluxe with TimeStrike for that $30 extra, or Source Starter Set plus TimeStrike for that $30 extra. We have heard from the community over and over and over and over, why can't I get Double Decker and still have the same benefit of the $30 TimeStrike? Same with Tubosaurus, same with its raining source. And we talked about it internally, and we couldn't agree more. Why on earth would we not do this? So, over the weekend, hopefully before the end of the day, but potentially early next week, you will see 3 additional Kickstarter tiers rolled out with only a $30 increase when you bundle TimeStrike with it. So you will be able to purchase the Double Decker plus TimeStrike, the Tub of Source plus TimeStrike, or It's Raining Source plus TimeStrike. If you already backed one of these and then purchased the TimeStrike add-on, you can go into Kickstarter and you can adjust your pledge to one of these new tiers. So it's not a big deal if you're already locked in. You are able to change it and you can come and benefit from the bundling of Source with TimeStrike. So hopefully everybody will be excited about this. We've heard people saying, well, I don't want TimeStrike if I can't get it as a bundle with my large set, and we're acting on that. So hopefully this, like again I said, this will either be out today or first thing Monday. We're working our hardest to get this out today with new creative for each of you to see. And
You're
Good
muted,
stuff.
or Shaper. I don't know if you were talking to us.
Shaper, are you talking?
I saw him talking, but I don't know
Okay.
if he was
I
talking.
was just I was talking to Hero
Okay.
here.
Okay. We can go next slide. All right. Super exciting. Super exciting. Tonight at 9:00 p.m. Shaper, Hamaro, and Salpy will be doing a live stream of TimeStrike, a full playthrough on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Discord. Most likely, it's going to be a 1v1 with one of us managing the questions and talking to the community and explaining what is going on. But you will be able to see from start to finish how to play a game of TimeStrike. We will be taking you through it, letting you know what rules are being enforced, and helping you to learn more about what TimeStrike looks like. So we're super excited about that. We're going to have an event posted right after this call. It will be recorded for those of you who cannot attend. It will be recorded and saved on YouTube. It will be recorded and saved on Facebook. So this is the first live stream playthrough of TimeStrike that will ever be unveiled to the world. We're super excited about it. We're super pumped that you guys will be excited about it. And again, I'm going to be posting that event in the Discord. I'm going to be posting it on Facebook. I'll be posting it in the updates on the Kickstarter and anywhere else we can get the word out. So share with your friends. Let them know tonight is the first ever TimeStrike live playthrough. We can't wait for you guys to see it. We're super excited, and we hope you bring as much energy as we do. We can,
All right.
yeah, Salpy, did you want to share some of those little images?
Do we have any AMA stuff? I don't necessarily have to show it today.
Okay.
I don't know if I have any other YouTube. Is that, yeah, one other question from YouTube. Is that current picture built with the 4 square, 4 regular, or 8 square? So I think this was going
That
back to the image you were
picture.
just the square one we were showing.
That is
That
4
we had
Yeah,
square
that would
for
be
a
the
while.
new.
and 4
Yeah.
regular. Yeah, 4 square and
Here,
4
I'll,
regular.
Share my
No,
screen.
please revisit the edge pieces. We're happy to talk about them. With the sets that we split 4 and 4, if we hit that goal, will the edge pieces interact with each other? You could still build a really big one. Yeah, all the edge pieces, which I don't.
Yeah, they're
really
all
have any sitting here.
completely modular. So the more edges you get, the more types of shapes and all sorts of things and maps you can build. It only grows. So you don't miss out by having one type of one type of another.
So I don't know all my camera's gonna do here. So the actual like corner piece we have here, as we've shown a bunch of times, they slot together like this. So because this corner piece is a hexagon on the current build, you can't make a right angle. Like there's no place to make a right angle. So when we actually build these, kind of answer the 3 questions that are happening kind of simultaneously, is we're going to build that right angle one. Like right now that doesn't actually work because this is a hexagon. Hexagon can't make that right angle. It just can't. So yeah. So we have to tool a new piece to do this right angle. If that makes sense to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so with right angles, if you have enough right angles, you of course can't make a hexagon. It'll only ever make squares. So that's why we'll still include these. So if you have these, you can still always make what a 45-degree angle, right?
About.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the math off the top of my head. A 30-degree angle. Yeah, 30. Yeah. Hmm.
You got it, 80s Commander.
Anyways, yeah, acute and
Acute.
obtuse. There we go.
Yep.
Okay. Other questions about edges before we move on? I'm gonna wait for a second on the YouTube. Yeah, Brandon.
Well, if we
Hopefully that makes
want
sense,
to go all the
Brandon,
way
from
to
the
3,
YouTube
I
chat.
can fill up
So,
the end of it. I was just curious what kind of maps you could build with combination types.
I'm just checking our forum to see if anybody asks any other questions.
oh, you don't show me showing my screen on YouTube. Brandon, I'm waving around edges right now. Hopefully it made
Hold
sense
on, let me
by the
swap
words
to
I
you.
was saying.
You can wave again, Bob. You can wave again.
Well, I had to wait for it to see it over there. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got, these edge pieces right here, Brandon. These are the current edges. So right now, we can only do hexagon, based connectors. So this actual connector piece here only connects in hexagons. And so if we wanted to make a right angle, we just can't, because there's also this extra space here that's not an actual real hex. So yeah, we can't do that with the current pieces. So when we get these, extra right angle pieces, which a lot of people need and really want for their tables or D&D or BattleTech or whatever game they want to play, a lot of people play on squares and rectangles. But everybody, over in the Discord chat over here, people are bringing up that, this hexagon is also unique. Like, this is a unique thing that is, for us and what we're offering. But the community is, speaking, saying right angles, please. So,
Yeah.
hopefully that makes sense.
We'll have to make a decision.
So Selpy's just showing off some of the other environment themes here, with the new edge configuration. Did you want to share your last little?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
For anyone who wants to hear some interesting thoughts, so I had and I don't think he's in the chat today. I had a interesting question from a community member, Caster Troy. Oh wait, let me bring up this. So he asked me if how to adapt our hexes and our build system to other games, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity. And I won't go on too long because it's almost 3 o'clock. I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of talk to the community about where we see us actually working with other publishers, other manufacturers, to actually make stores available to everyone, and help people do like their own custom pieces for the game that they want to build. So his thing was he wanted me to build out a map for Deep Rock Galactic, which is I've never played the board game. I love the video game. So it was a good opportunity. He showed me the map, and it was a good opportunity to kind of show off these, square edges that we have now to make a map. So I built a little map, and I kind of went through the stages of like what a Deep Rock Galactic map build would look like if we were to partner with them. So maybe we would offer them. Maybe they want just straight black tiles and hexes, and maybe they would want some sort of ground rock and lava to represent the rock would be somewhere to represent the pathways that you can walk, and then the lava would be those pits that you can fall through during the game. For anyone who's not familiar with it, I'm just describing a couple different mechanics. But the last part that he asked about was like, can I make it feel like it's in a dungeon? So to kind of mimic exactly what Deep Rock did, I went ahead and built these like kind of massive hexes. So when you're actually playing, it looks like you're looking down at your characters into a dungeon and moving them through. this world. And the idea is that you could rebuild the map however you want. You can make it the halls, the pathways, the open areas, the pits or lava I put in this, however you want. But this is just a good example of like how we want to collaborate with other people that have ideas, because this isn't something that we necessarily would have built. You know, we don't have the license to Deep Rock Galactic or anything, but if they reached out to us and wanted us to help them build this kind of map so that their, you know, their community could rebuild maps however they want, this would be the option. And just a little kind of like cool shot at the end there.
That's kind of a cool
So
idea
I
too,
just
right? Like something you could do to even enhance the experience. Somebody mentioned like, hey, what if you destroyed and opened up a new path, right? So something in the Rock Galactic, and I'm not gonna pretend that I'm super familiar with it, but I'm sure that it's very difficult to like feel like you're really mining materials or you're really digging through the world to get where you need to go. Now, with the power of source and the destructibility, you can change the map as you're playing through it. And this is just one of many, many ways that I think the live destructibility and the non-interlocking hexes and tiles are really, really powerful and is almost a functionality of the board itself that can be leveraged in many, many different capacities. Really cool.
yeah. So
We,
yeah,
we got
I'm just gonna
we got a
post this
Facebook
later, but
question too.
Okay.
I
Can
can
you make a
answer it if you.
few of the edges have a hinge-like feature as a solution for the sides needed to make squares and rectangles without entirely changing the original numbers of sides required or edges required for the non-square option? So,
So
I think they're
right
asking if
now,
you can make the back of the hex or the back of the edge the other edge type, which we have tested. Robin and Robin's not on the call. Him and I tested that. It makes them very, very large, and kind of clumsy, and you lose some of the functionality as far as how many angles you can actually do with the current edges. Um, yeah, that's what our findings were when trying to make it so that you could do it on the back sides.
yeah, I think we're always looking to try and innovate. It would be nice to have like a one size fits all option, but at the moment this seems like the best thing we can do. They want you to show the lighter image again, Salpy. This is
Yep.
the best thing we can do to get square and rectangular maps out to the community, or at least the option to build those. Again, I'm going to poll the community shortly after this call. I'd like to hear the thoughts on, if you buy a Source Starter or a Source Deluxe, how do you feel about, well, now you're kind of limited to squares and rectangles unless, and I think LL Kool-Aid said this, unless you kind of have the size of the board and you just use the original edges. That might be something we need to look at, and maybe something we need to allow the community to kind of customize to their own liking. But we'll discuss it internally and see if the demand is there for us to make a change. Could you draw a shape for any example of what you could do with the 4 and 4 and how they'd work together in a basic set?
I'll try to do some different map builds with the 4 of the one type and 4 of the other type, and show what you can build with it. But this is good feedback, because we needed to figure out, how we wanted to present this to the community, as far as including it in each of the packages, or just keeping it as an add-on for people that want it and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I would just annotate that by saying the delivery of this may change based on the feedback of the community. Right now, our thought is we want you guys to have it and we'll include it in, but if it becomes something that is more of a negative than a positive, we'll discuss it and we'll figure out how you can customize or make it in a way that you can fit your needs, especially for those who purchase the Source Starter and the source deluxe sets where you get 8 edges. We might have to rethink that a little bit, but that's all good feedback.
All right, it's 3 o'clock. Does anyone want to wrap up with anything?
I yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, thank you everybody for coming. One little, cool math tidbit. I was doing the math yesterday night on the total amount of hexes we've sold through the Kickstarter. And we probably right about now have made in total hexes, like actual hex count, we're at 500,000 hexes.
Whew.
So
It's a lot of
that's
hexes.
pretty
Half
cool.
a million hexes
That's
out there in the world.
Yeah, so they're right now we're at 500,000 hexes. So let's keep pushing
That's
more
super
and more. All the hexes. It's gonna be raining hexes everywhere. We
Love
haven't
it.
even we haven't even made a tier for source shed yet.
The shed,
Build
the
a
shed
whole
of
shed
source.
out of them.
So I wanna thank everybody for joining today. This is actually the largest turnout that we've had for our AMA and update session. We had 10 people plus tune in on YouTube. We've had a lot of people tune in on Facebook, and we had over 20 people join on Discord today. This is not the last. This is every week. We're going to try to be more accommodating to everyone around the world internationally for their time and when they're able to join. So we're going to be leaning towards this time slot on a weekly basis, Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern. Everything is recorded on YouTube. Everything is recorded on Facebook, and our Kickstarter's live. All of you who are here, we thank you for your support, for your backing, and we have a lot of work to do. So super excited, and thank you all again. Chris, anything? You went on mute, off mute, so it looked like you had something.
Yeah, so I see everyone's kind of trickling out of the stream, and then maybe not the best time to bring it up, but I know we talked a little bit about the grip mats, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just got off a call with the founder of Grip Mats. We talked at length, lots and lots of exciting things that I see becoming possible with Grip Mats as an unlock. One of the first most exciting ones is everyone's been talking about making islands and a map with islands. I don't think there will be any more affordable way than to throw down a grip mat and build your islands, a grip mat that's an ocean theme, or a grip mat that is, just water, and start to build your islands out on top of that. It's going to unlock a lot of really exciting possibilities, and I think that the partnership that we're going to be building with the producers of these grip mats is we're just going to keep expanding it. We're just going to keep looking for more and more exciting ways to bring those two products together, because they're sort of like, it's almost like they were built for each other. Anyway, I'll be sharing more, but I do want to hear from the community what kind of grip mats you want to see. We're going to be a lot more flexible with the environments and the biomes that we can create on those mats than we can with anything else right now during this campaign. So let us know what kind of environments you're most excited to see on a mat that you can then build source on top of, whether that's space or that's an ocean. I want to hear from you guys what you're most excited about so we can start to steer the direction of what mats we make first. That's all.
Sounds like we have some ideas in chat already. So I will put a poll up for that as well. And we are just always so appreciative for the feedback, everyone. Anybody else? Closing comments? All right. Thank you all for attending today. We will be hyperactive and continue updating you as often as possible. We are here for you, and thank you very much for attending. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and let's hope for an awesome weekend full of successful Kickstarter funding. See you next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.